फिर भी थोड़ा पिछले समराइज करूंगा। Then I don't know till what verse. Means this Narad Muni explained to Yudhishthira Maharaj about all the three this Jay Vijayas. That covers. That is ending there only, and then the last question is raised. I need to complete the chapter. Okay. No, I read the verses at least. Yeah. So how will you recite verse? How will you recite? You recite then we'll say. Text number 1. श्रीनारद उवाच भ्रातर एवं विनिहते हरिणा क्रोडमूर्तिना हिरण्यकशिपुराजन् पर्यत्पयत् रुषासु च श्रीनारद उवाच भ्रातर एवं विनिहते हरिणा क्रोडमूर्तिना हिरण्यकशिपुराजन् पर्यत्पयदृशासु च श्रीनारद उवाच भ्रातर एवं विनिहते हरिणा क्रोडमूर्तिना हिरण्यकशिपुराजन् पर्यत्पयदृशासु च
श्रीनारद उवाच भ्रातर्येवं विनिहते हरिणा क्रोधमूर्तिना हिरण्यकशिपुराजन् पर्यतप्यदृशासु च
श्रीनारद उवाच भ्रातर्येवं विनिहते हरिणा क्रोधमूर्तिना हिरण्यकशिपुराजन् पर्यातप्यदृशासु च
श्रीनारद उवाच एवं विनिहते हरिणा क्रोध मूर्तिना हिरण्यकशिपुराजन् पर्यताप्यात् रुषासु च
What word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Narad Uvacha. Sri Narad Muni said. Ratari. When the brother Hiranaksha. Evam does. Viniyate was killed. Harina by Hari. Kroda Murtina in the form of the boar Varaha. Hiranyakashipu Rajan O king. Paryat was afflicted. Rusha by anger. Rucha by grief. Translation. Sri Narad Muni said, my dear King Yudhishthira, when Lord Vishnu in the form of Vara, the boar, killed Hiranyaksha's brother Hiranyakashipu was extremely angry and began to lament. Purport. Yudhishthira had inquired from Narad Muni why Hiranyakashipu was so envious of his own son Prahlad. Narad Muni began narrating the story of explaining how Hiranyakashipu had become a staunch enemy of Lord Vishnu. Om Agyantam Brandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swam Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utar Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnava Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Sajivam Sadhuetam Savadutam Arjuna Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakamavitam Sham Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tanapale Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Vacharane Nirvishesha Sanyavadi Pashyata Deshitarane Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prem Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namre Goseshri
हे कृष्णा करुणा
सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। 10 verses it was said or first one verse. So first of all, I'm seeking the blessings of all the devotees so that they can bless, so that I can speak on this Srimad Bhagavatam for the pleasure of the Vaishnavas and for the glories of the Supreme Person of Godhead, especially Parmali Panditru and all the devotees. So this new chapter is beginning. For that, I just take the summary of this chapter so that we can understand, come to know that what things are mentioned in this chapter. It's only 2-3 paragraphs are there. The chapter name is Hiranyakashipu, king of the demons. So summary of this chapter. As described in this chapter, after the annihilation of Hiranyaksha's sons and his brother Hiranyakashipu was very much aggrieved. Hiranyakashipu reacted very sinfully by trying to diminish the religious activities of people in general. However, he instructed his nephews about history just to diminish their aggrievement. When the Supreme Person of Godhead appeared as a boar and killed Hiranyakashipu's brother Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu was very much aggrieved. In anger, he accused the Supreme Person of Godhead of being partial to his devotees and derided the Lord's appearance as Vara to kill his brother. He began to agitate all the demons and Rakshasas and disturb the ritualistic ceremonies of the peaceful sages and other inhabitants of earth. For want of the performance of yajna, sacrifice, the demigods began wandering unseen on earth. After finishing the ritualistic funeral ceremonies of his brother, Hiranyakashipu began speaking to his nephews, quoting from the Shastras about the truth of life. To pacify them, he spoke as follows. My dear nephew, for heroes to die before the enemy is glorious. According to their different fruitive activities, living entities come together within this material world and are again separated by the laws of nature. We should always know, however, that the spirit soul, which is different from the body, is eternal, unadjustable, pure, all pervading, and aware of everything. When bound by the material energy, the soul takes birth in higher or lower species of life according to varying association, and in this way receives various types of bodies in which to suffer or enjoy. One's affliction by the conditions of material existence is a cause of happiness and distress. There are no other causes, and one should not be aggrieved upon seeing the superficial actions of karma. Hiranyakashipu then related a historical incidents concerning a king Suyagya who resided in the country named Ushinara. When the king was killed, his queens, overwhelmed with grief, received instructions when Hiranyakashipu, which Hiranyakashipu quoted to his nephews. Hiranyakashipu related an account of Kulinga birds pierced by the arrow of a hunter while lamenting for his wife, who had also been shot by the same hunter. By narrating these stories, Hiranyakashipu pacified his nephews and other relatives and relieved them of lamentation. Thus, having been pacified, Diti and Rushabhanu, Hiranyakashipu's mother and sister-in-law, engaged their minds in spiritual understanding. This chapter began by the inquiry, the last chapter, end end verse raised by the Yudhishthir Maharaj. So the Maharaj Yudhishthir inquired from Narad Muni, "O my lord Narad Muni, why was there such enmity between Hiranyakashipu and his beloved son Prahlad Maharaj? How did Prahlad Maharaj become such a great devotee of Lord Krishna? Kindly explain this to me." So in this answer of this question, this chapter is going to narrated by the Yudhishthir Maharaj, Narad Muni to Yudhishthir Maharaj. So this we know that how the Lord Vara killed Hiranyaksha that time. And then when Lord Vara killed Hiranyakashipu, the Hiranyakashipu became so much angry. And here it is mentioned that he became so very extremely angry and began to lament. So that time only he started speaking about how the Lord always take the side of demigods. By being with the association of demigods, he killed my brother Hiranyaksha. And then he was started narrating the wonderful, of course, they're not wonderful qualities of Hiranyaksha, but he started how my brother was so great, so many things he was mentioning that. And then with the association with the demigods, then Lord Vishnu killed my this good soul, which he says Hiranyaksha. And then he was telling that about Lord, about ill things of the Lord. He was thinking that how this Lord is such a so many words he's used, which is going to come, that about how he always always take the side of a demigods, and then of course so many things come. I just not just tell something points. Just tell that how the Supreme Lord, such a person that he never see that how namely the demigod and demons. This was he's always take the side of demigods, but again always wanted to he take their side and help them to kill Hiranyaksha. So that they have mentioned the demon Hiranyakashipu accused the Lord of being partial because the demigod worshipped him. But in fact, the government is not partial to all. So that after explaining, after a question asked by the Yudhishthira Maharaj, what kind of father is Hiranyakashipu is dead? Such a great soul, Prahlad Maharaj, or such a great devotee of the Lord, is born in his family. And then what kind of person is there? So this just last Saturday only, Guru Kripa Swami Maharaj was giving class of this, not this verse, but related to this same topic. How this, the question raised by the Yudhishthira Maharaj to the Narad Muni, that what kind of father he is. That is, he is such a great soul in his taken birth in his family. So who will become enemy of that great soul? So he was telling that about suppose about telling, he was saying Guru Kripa Swami was saying about himself that I was very dear to my parents, but after then I joined. So my parents became angry on me. Of course, they became angry on me, and then they started telling him so many things. But it does not mean that they become envy of me. You saying that they become angry of me, but they never become envy of me. So then, the one thing is that displeasing to the parents is another side, but so much displeasing that the parents, what kind of parents is that they become angry on this, trying to attempt to kill him. So then, the Narad Muni is going to speak about the wonderful qualities, which the whole chapter is dedicated about the Prahlad Maharaj's beautiful qualities, which is going to come next chapter. And before that, how the Hiranyakashipu, after when he saw that the Hiranyaksha has killed his brother, then he became more angry unto the Lord and to the Lord's devotees. And then he started creating so much disturbances. It comes here. So much disturbances that that he started where the good things were happening. Means good things means where the Lord devotees were coming together and performing yajna sacrifice to glorify the Lord. And then he sent all his demons, Rakshasas, to go and destroy those places where the yajna is happening and kill all the Brahmanas. And then we're going to come ahead also that for yajna required ghee, and for yajna required so many, all these things. So, and fruits, flowers, all these things required. So he's saying that go and destroy all the trees which give fruits and flowers. So in this way, he was trying to destroy everything which the Brahmana and the devotees, they perform yajna for the glorifying the Supreme Lord. So in this way, he becomes so much angry. And then this chapter is again more explained about how when the Lord Vishnu, after thus giving fire to the body of the Hiranyaksha, then he saw that the Hiranyaksha or Hiranyakashipu's mother and the wife of Hiranaksha, they were lamenting. So much lamenting about the died of the son and the husband. So then the Hiranyakashipu was telling the past about philosophy, about how we are not this body, we are soul, and then the soul is bound by the by three modes when he come to this material world, and then he goes to different stages according to the modes. But then he tells good things about Hiranyakashipu. We already discussed that. Hiranyakashipu was very yes, well, after finishing the ritualistic funeral ceremony of his brother, Hiranyakashipu began speaking to his nephews, quoting from the Shastras about truth of life. So he's saying that when the hero dies before the enemy is glorious. So we know that how the Kshatriyas, when they die in the war, then for them the death is also glorious. Because in the war, if they die, they will go to the heavenly planet, heaven. Or if they win, then they will rule this. So then he's saying that how uh, when the hero died in front of the enemy, that is glorious. And then he starts speaking about how the soul gets different bodies according to the different modes, what action he has taken. And after speaking everything, the Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha mother and the five of Hiranyaksha, they and the nephews, they were pacified completely. And then they started worshipping Supreme Lord. That is mentioned that. And they engage their mind in spiritual understanding.
So worshipping also.
That is not mentioned. Spiritual understanding mentioned here. Maybe it comes in next verses. So they have been pacified. Diti and Roshan Banu, Hiranyakashipu's mother and sister-in-law, engage their minds in spiritual understanding. So then, what the philosophy has spoken by Hiranyakashipu, then they pacified and all the pacified, and then they started practicing. So we can understand that how the what philosophy is spoken by Hiranyakashipu. Many times devotee when they speak, that tells about this is the same philosophy which Krishna has spoken in the Bhagavad Gita. If the demon's name was not mentioned there, Hiranyakashipu Vacha, then it is like the same. We can say that philosophy from the Bhagavad Gita only what is spoken. So the only one difference is that because here the although you are speaking, but application was missing. So therefore, the things which is not very helpful for the person. So only knowing the philosophy, but application is not working or not working for the application, then it will not affect. So we saw that how here Hiranyakashipu knows the philosophy, but application was missing. Why? Because there was no blessings of the great souls. So we say that about Jnana and Vigyan, Krishna speaks in the Bhagavad Gita. Jnana means knowing all the knowledge, which is very much important, required. Knowledge is so much important. Otherwise, ignorance is the cause of, we know that, ignoring the cause of the sinful life. So when we don't have knowledge, then we do so many wrong activities, sinful activities. But having knowledge, but not applying is another one. So for that, Jnana and Vigyan is also required. Jnana means having knowledge, and Vigyan means application of the knowledge. Then it comes to the realizations. So this, when we have blessings of the great souls, then it help us to apply the knowledge in our life also. So here we saw that the Hiranyakashipu, after terrorizing all the, after all killing all the, means creating harm to all the great souls, and he was not having anyone to get the blessings. Where we saw that he became the enemies of the Supreme Lord only, where all the great souls they worship the Supreme Lord, and then he started doing tapasya also, and then he got so much blessing from all the power from which is going to come the next chapter. After then he went for perform the got the power, and then again he started getting so much disturbances. So then we can understand that actually when we know the knowledge and then application, when we apply, then it will help us to further make more advancement in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, only having knowledge and then not applying, it will not very much help. So then here we mentioned that how So when the blessings was there, the great souls, then it will help us to understand the knowledge and apply in our life. So you are not only listening to him, that it comes here. So then Yudhishthira Maharaj, after inquiring from Narad Muni, Yudhishthira Maharaj, then it mentioned that how the Narad Muni is going to narrate the story about which one chapter he speak about how the this Hiranyakashipu went for the performing so much tapasya to get the more power, to wanted to destroy the Supreme Lord, because he became so much angry. After anger, they become enemies of the Supreme Lord, and then he wanted to so much power, and therefore he went for performing so much tapasya. And we know that how much strong tapasya he did, so much long time. So then Narad Muni explained the next chapter. Although he performed so much tapasya, but he got such a beautiful son of Prahlad Maharaj, and the so many beautiful qualities which is going to come in the fourth chapter. But here Narad Muni is highlighting some of the qualities of Prahlad Maharaj. So in one of the verses, Narad Muni explained that Prahlad Maharaj is such a great soul that from beginning the life of from the beginning of the life only, that he was not engaged in the activity which normally a child was wanted to play the sports so much. That we've seen that how the child always wanted to play the sports, but now the Prahlad Maharaj was not interested from the beginning of the life only. As we know that when Prahlad Maharaj speaks the calculation also, no, to this boyfriend, the boys, how the calculation of the human birth, suppose 100 years, how they are wasting their life. Like the first 10 years, he speaks that only. Norm, when the child take birth, his 10 year passes by just playing the sports only. And then next 10 years passes by going to studies, and the half of the life passes by the sleeping. Means 12 hours mentioned as sleeping. So 50 years pass by like that, and remaining 20 years pass by the old age, where so much disease all this comes, and then very difficult for them to work on this. And the 10 years, because he was is a householder, so 10 years pass by the maintaining the household things. Then Prahlad Maharaj says, where is the question of practicing devotional service? Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj tells to his friends that whenever whatever time, whatever period of life you get the understanding that Supreme Person of God, when you started worshipping. So therefore, Prahlad Maharaj did like that exactly. When the just from the womb only he got the understanding of the Supreme Lord from the Narad Muni. So in the womb only he understood, and then as soon as he took birth, he started practicing after whenever he got the consciousness. His consciousness was from the womb only, but he started not wasting any single time. So in Bhagavatam, this verse comes where it explained that fourth chapter of this. So like I just complete that verse. Prahlad Maharaj's wonderful qualities explained. Although there are many verses, but here Narad Muni focusing on this. I just take that one. Here mentioned that Nyasta Kridan Kobalo Jadavat Tan Manastaya Krishna Graha Giritatma Naveda Jagat Idarsham. Nyasta Kridan Kobalo means having given up. Kridan means all sporting activity or tendency for childhood play. Bala means a boy. Just like a boy always like to play, but the Prahlad Maharaj Nyasta means beginning of his given up. Jadavat Tan Manastaya. Jadavat means jad like he becomes like jad. When he got become more mature, jad means he became for light here. Jadavat means as if dull, without activities. Tan manastaya, by being fully absorbed in Krishna. So it comes by Jadavat means two things he mentioned that he became like a dull, or Jadavat means not speaking unnecessary things. So here and Prabhupada right here what is the mean by Jada? So the Jadavat means that becoming dull, and then not speaking things which is not helping to make advancement in Krishna consciousness. So what Prahlad Maharaj, these qualities are mentioning here, it is same qualities are mentioned by the Supreme Lord in the 17.16, where the manas, tapasya of the mind. So he's saying that what are the tapasya of the mind is required there? For one is satisfaction, simplicity, and satisfaction simple, and it comes like that very grave in the thoughts, and then silence, and then working for the purification of one's existence. So for satisfaction, Prabhupada write that the 2-3 places in that same purport, right? Satisfaction of the mind only comes by keeping away from the sense gratification activities. 2-3 places, right? So the mind will be only be satisfied when there is no mind be involved, engaged in the sense gratification activity. So therefore, we can say that how the Prahlad Maharaj qualities like that. So we come with Jada. Jada means it was mentioned that of course for devotees silence is not mentioned. Silence for the devotees, silence means that Prabhupada right in that purport of tapasya of the mind, that silence means that he's always thinking of the activity which helps him to for self-realization. How to be become self-realized. So he's always thinking. And here Jada means that because Prahlad Maharaj was not having any association of Vaishnavas. He was the only person who was engaged in Krishna consciousness activity. Apart from that, everyone was engaged in the sense gratification activity. So then, when the Prahlad Maharaj was having these 3 qualities which I just mentioned here, not engage in any sports activity which wastes the time and become jadavat, become silence, and the only thinking of the self-realization. And then third quality was very mentioned, most importantly mentioned, that Krishna Graha. Krishna Graha means just like we have the Prabhupada, negative example of Graha. Sometimes we comes to the Chandra Graha, Surya Graha. That means once the Chandra Graha and Surya Graha attacked by the Graha, means either this Rahu or Ketu, or 3 things, Saturn, Rahu or Ketu, he cannot make advancement in any prospective activity. Means that period he will be just under their clutches only. Whatever the period was there, Rahu or Ketu. Similarly, the Prahlad Maharaj was influenced by Krishna Graha, the supreme Krishna's planet. Thus, he could not think of the material world and live without Krishna consciousness. So then, when these 3 qualities are mentioned, that what benediction he got? He got that Krishna Ghara Giritatma na Veda Jada Darsham. Means in front of him, every living entity was seeing that. Every living entity was engaged in sense gratification activities, but he was not getting any affected of this. Why? Because he was having his mind was completely away from the activities which were not helping him to make advancement in Krishna consciousness, and he was very working for only for self-realization, and always his thoughts was engaged. His thoughts was engaged in always trying to good for others, and then mind was fully become the Krishna Graha, means only influenced by the Graha of Krishna. Hitatma, whose mind was fully attracted by the Krishna's beauty, and therefore, because of this, then even though all apart from him, everyone was engaged in sense gratification activity, he was not got affected by this. So because he was absorbed in the Krishna's qualities, and he was giving whole time for the service of Krishna, therefore he was not got affected by the all the old person who are engaged in sinful activities. So similarly comes like we saw the example of Hanuman also. When Hanuman went to find out Mother Sita in the Lanka, when he was going all the places looking for the Mother Sita, and he was going all the whatever the Ravana's Lanka was there and all the places, and he's seeing also so many people are engaged in sensual activities, but he was not got affected. Why? Because my mind was completely fully absorbed in the service of the Supreme Lord. So there are no other thoughts was with him for coming for in the mind. So similarly, once Raishapur was sharing that how this can be applied for the sadhaka level also. Normally, you are saying that when the Supreme Lord comes in this world, he performs so many activities. That activities help. That activities will become the source of for the great souls to discuss among each other and relish. So the activity of Supreme Lord will become the relishable activities for the great souls. But for sadhakas, these activities will become the source of the purification. So when the devotees they hear the pastime of the Supreme Lord from the great souls, then their heart will become purified. Similarly, when the great souls come in this material world and perform so many activities. So their activities will become the object of relishable for the another great source. They discuss about the activity of the great source and then they become very happy and blissful. Like they here see that or the Yudhishthira Maharaj, Narad Muni was glorifying Prahlad Maharaj's wonderful qualities. And was glorifying in such a way that it happens like that it is happening very recently. Although the Prahlad Maharaj wonderful qualities happened the first time, Prahlad Maharaj first time happened in Satyuga. That was Lord Narsimdev came in Satyuga. And the Yudhishthira Maharaj, Narad Muni was glorifying Prahlad Maharaj wonderful quality in front of Yudhishthira Maharaj in the Treta Yuga, end of the Treta Yuga. It happened so long times, but still it become very fresh because you are.
And the Treta Yuga.
Dwapar.
Dwapar Yuga, end of Dwapar Yuga when Krishna and so then end of the Dwapar Yuga, and it became so long period, and then he was glorifying in such a way that it is happening really recent. Why? Because these great souls always relish the wonderful quality of other great souls. So for great soul, it becomes the object of relishable among discuss each other. But for the sadhakas, the qualities of the great souls, like Prahlad Maharaj's qualities, will become for us the source of purification by walking on the same path which they have given their footsteps and by following their instruction. So the Rajsham was saying that how this, of course, this for Prahlad Maharaj not got affected, although everyone was engaged in sense gradation activities, and also Hanuman was not got affected, although he was seeing that every place the Rakshasa was involved in the sense gradation activity. But same way, how sadhaka level, at our level, we can be, although we are living in such a place where there's so much sinful activities happening, how we will not be get affected. So he was giving the one example in Gaurang Sabha class that once he told to one boy to go at this shop and make the bring the prints of this Xerox copy of this file, and then he went there and brought, and then he handed it over to Prabhuji. Then he was telling that Rasham was telling that in the class that although when he went to the Xerox shop, although there in between there are so many other shops was there, meat shop was there, wine shop was there, and so many others, movies theater also was there, which he was engaged in before coming to Krishna consciousness. He was going for movie, he was going for the shop, meat shop, all this thing. But now this time, because he was directly went to Xerox shops, although these things was there, but for him they were not existing. So his mind was not involved in those activities. So it means that he was sharing that although all the things are happening nearby us, but if we are not focusing on those things and focusing on those things which helping us to make advancement in Krishna consciousness, then they are there, but they are not existing for all of us. So we cannot blame that, oh, the surrounding like that or atmosphere is like that, because the like same thing is this Parikshit Maharaj instance will come. When the Parikshit Maharaj was telling that gave place to the Kali, okay, you go in such places where the 4 sinful activities are happening. And then Kali told that this activity is not happening in your kingdom. So then Parikshit Maharaj gave the place where the earning money in a wrong way will come, there will be Kali goes. So Parikshit Maharaj was knowing the ill effect of the Kali, but he gave protection to all the citizens by providing the solution. What was the solution there? The solution was that everywhere in his kingdom he started glorifying Supreme Lord through the Bhagavad Katha and through the holy name. So these are the solution. So wherever this Lord's glories of holy name and glories of his qualities, wonderful qualities are happening, then the Kali will not come there. So therefore, Kali was not entering, although Kali was already entered when the Krishna left this world. But because Parikshit was ruling the kingdom and this thing he started everywhere, so the Kali was not entering. So therefore, purport was right that. So similarly, normally we give the excuse that oh, now rain is happening, so that how can I go to school or how can I go to college, company? No, the protection is there. The protection means either umbrella, your raincoat, you can use that and then go to your place. Similarly, the Kali is there, although these bad things are there, but protection is also there. What is the protection? Chanting holy name of the Lord and glorifying the Supreme Lord. So if we are doing this, then we are not getting affected. So therefore, Prahlad Maharaj and Hanuman was doing. And therefore, for sadhaka level, if we follow their footsteps like that, how we also be in doing those activities which help us to make advancement in Krishna consciousness and avoid those activities which are creating blockage in our advancement. So then we also be not got affected, will not get affected of these things. So therefore, the what Prabhupada is mentioning that the tapasya for the mind is that satisfaction. One should be satisfied in the way in all the instances, means where satisfaction means Prabhupada mentioning that one should not use the mind for thinking for sense gratification. And simple means just very simple. What is inside in whatever is outside, it just remain very very clear. No any other thoughts and things outside and inside different. And for the grave means his thoughts are very grave. Only what are the thoughts is his thought was that how I can make my advancement in Krishna consciousness and how can I help others to make advancement in Krishna consciousness. These are the thoughts he's carrying in his mind. And then for silence means he mentioned that he was always thinking of self-realization. And for the purification of one's existence, he's always wanted to associate with great souls and wanted to be make further more advancement in Krishna consciousness. So therefore, Krishna topics he was mentioning there.
Yes.
Always associate with great souls, purification of one's existence. So always associate with the great souls and always thinking about how to make more further advancement. And then in this way, so means he was thinking all the for oneself advancement and thinking that how can I help others. So these two things are very nicely is explaining. And therefore the Prahlad Maharaj was also like this thinking. First, he was not wasting his time for unnecessary, which was not helping to make advancement in Krishna consciousness. And whatever time he was having, he was always remain silent when no one was there in front of him to discuss Krishna Katha. But whenever he was getting time, whenever we see that when the teachers were going out and there were recess was there, then he started speaking glories of the Supreme Lord to all these friends. So whenever he was getting time, he was just very bold in speaking. Like when Hiranyakashipu asked 2 times to Prahlad Maharaj, what you learned? So he's not hesitating to tell the truth. He told it directly that Shravanam Kirtanam, all the 9 process of devotional service, he told that. And so in this way, he was very alert in speaking Krishna Katha and very silent when no one association was there. Similarly, dull comes in the same time as a Jad Bharat. Jad Bharat also mentioning that he was also very dull. Why dull for whom? Dull for because no person was there to discuss Krishna Katha or speak Krishna. That time he was very silent. But inside this, he was thinking of how to for the self-realization. But when he get opportunity, then he very bold to speak of Krishna Katha. And then his mind was completely explained about Krishna Gara. Just like Gara attacked and then he cannot do anything. Similarly, the Krishna absorption attacked to Prahlad Maharaj in such a way that his mind was not getting diverted to any other things. So then he was not got affected by the sense gratification activity because he was fully absorbed in Krishna. So you are not understanding that how the whole world goes on being fully absorbed in the activity of sense gratification. Or the whole world was passing, doing the same sense gratification activity, but he was not got affected. So in this way, the Narad Muni is explaining to the Yudhishthira Maharaj the wonderful qualities of Prahlad Maharaj. And then he explained that how the Hiranyakashipu was such a great demon. After performing tapasya, he got more power and he started terrifying things more and sending his demons to many places. And the worship of the Supreme Lord, cutting the trees, destroying the beautiful gardens where the fruit flowers was happening, and killing of brahmanas, killing the cows, all these things were. One side you are destroying the places where the Lord worship will be flourished. The other side, he was terrorizing. And then the other side, the beautiful son of Prahlad Maharaj, beautiful son of Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad Maharaj, wonderful qualities mentioned. And then he told that how although the Prahlad Maharaj was such a great souls of this, the son of Hiranyakashipu, still he was, because of his envious nature, the Supreme Lord, he was trying to attempt to kill him. So which Yudhishthira Maharaj raised the question Of course, so many things in between comes, but the question that what kind of father he is, that he is such a great soul, Prahlad Maharaj, who will become envy of such person, such great soul. So therefore, the Narad Muni is explaining this wonderful qualities of both. He explained the power of Hiranyakashipu and even the beautiful quality of Prahlad Maharaj, and then tells that how, because having good qualities, still he become envious of his son, because he was always taking the side of the Supreme Lord. Okay, I think time is over. I will end here. If someone has any question, then they can ask. It stopped.
We related to beautiful points that I got. What you said was that he has first thing that he was satisfied, no? One should be satisfied. The second thing, you said that not silent. I forgot. Silent. Satisfied.
Not affected.
Huh?
Not being affected by the
No.
surroundings.
So satisfied. Three qualities, and the third one you said like
Simple.
yeah, correct. Satisfied, simple, and one should be absorbed in Krishna, like service.
Krishna Greshya.
Krishna. These are the three qualities which he had, no? Three primary, more important qualities. And why he was satisfied? Because he was not engaged, and how satisfaction can be achieved. As you said, the Srila Prabhupada said that we should not be engaged in any sense gratificatory activities. So this is how the satisfaction comes. These are the three qualities which is most important thing. And yeah, I have what was the other point? Few other points you said.
Silence, definition of silence was like
Jada.
Yeah.
when no one is around.
When no one is around, yeah, we can think about
Completely absorbed
in the concept. Yeah, correct, advancement. And you also mentioned the point that how Yudhishthira Maharaj also glorified the Prahlad Maharaj also. So great souls, they relish the pastimes, whereas on the sadhaka level also we can we can glorify them to purify ourselves. That's the past show by them. Yeah, that's one thing. Yeah, and you also gave one example of how Asham Prabhu, that one person when he goes to the shop.
So here it comes with this. Although Prahlad Maharaj was the only devotee in that whole Rakshasa, and you are seeing that everyone, apart from him, everyone is engaged in sense-based activities. But you are not got affected. Not only we say that surrounding like that only.
Correct.
But here solution is mentioned that if we keep ourselves properly situated, then other surroundings like that only will not got affected of things.
Just like me. Come on. Lotus. It's any other points?
At this point of the how the Kali Yuga, because Parshit Maharaj example also explained that how the Kali is coming, but Parshit Maharaj worked on the solution. So the point is that as sadhakas, there may be 10,000 excuses to not be Krishna conscious. You can say this is a problem, that is a problem, association is not good, there's so many things. But the point is the solution is also given. So if you stick to the right kind of doses of Krishna consciousness, then one can remain unaffected. You have to take basically one has to focus on the solution. So like you told the example of Xerox shop, the person was focused on that, the service there. So he was not affected because he was not looking for any other things. Then if we stick to the service and spiritual master's instructions and our process of devotion service, then one can remain untouched also. But it is possible. So when people say काजल के कोठरी में है तो काले ही होंगे अभी क्या करेंगे. People have this kind of thing, phrase. But actually, yeah, that is there. But point is, it's like rain example you told, but you take the umbrella, then you can protect it. So Krishna consciousness is such a powerful thing. So if somebody sticks to, very rigidly he practices, then one can remain unaffected also. And there's so many examples also we can see in our society also. So many examples. Prabhupada, he was alone. He was there, unaffected. They're following his future, so many Prabhupada disciples also, preaching all over the world. Because they're sticking to the instructions and alert to Krishna consciousness, cautious of Maya both.
Alert to Krishna.
Alert in Krishna consciousness, and one should be conscious of Maya. Cautious of Maya.
Spiritually alert and
Kali Yuga will not affect it.
Glorify the Supreme Lord.
Two things.
Two
Chanting,
things.
chanting the holy name and glorifying the Lord.
Mm.
Remember. And yes. Alert and new conscious of Maya. In which are
Means here, this point can is always doing the two things. Means always doing those activities which are helping me advancement in Krishna consciousness, and avoiding those things which blocking me advancement in Krishna consciousness. Only always working on those things.
always do those things which helps me correct. Good. Stop.
Like many 9 process of devotional service are there. A whole day, some engagement should be there any of the process of devotional service. Our Sharanam Kirtana most, but after then, there's so many other things are also there, 9 processes. Like you are sharing that one devotee was sharing the class that this time we went for Yatra. So 10,000 devotees were there. So from morning onwards, different devotees were engaged in different activities. Some were engaging services in the kitchen services, some in accommodation services, some in Dham Sevak services, some in the Kirtan services. But so all the devotees were engaged. And if it looked like so much, my whole day is going very tired, but simultaneously you are getting very food also for the soul, because being in the Dham itself is so much good things comes. And having 10,000 session of Vaishnavas, going visiting holy places, hearing holy name, and going to hear from the Katha of the particular place, evening Guru Maharaj class, Kirtan, so many things are happening. So simultaneously, whole day engagement was also there, and we are getting nourishment for the soul also. So it was like 8-10 days, 7-8 days period. So we are sharing that how we can be same thing can be applied throughout our whole life. One side we get full engagement in our activities, so then we'll not get distracted from any other, and simultaneously we get the nourishment for the soul also by engaging in the chanting Sharanam Kirtanam and these things. So whole day we have this, then our whole life will be passed like that only. Then we can easily come out from this cricket. Yes, this point is that when you focus, other things become improvements. When you focus on the positive thing, then other things will what they do is we have to focus our mind, focus ourselves on Krishna. The other things automatically not exist. That is your example with that point. So basically, the choice is on us that where we want to focus. We focus on Krishna and his service and our engagements. So then other things will become blurred. It won't be existing for us. I mean that how for Hanumanji, all those things don't exist. But the person was going to shop, still the cinema halls are there, still shops are there. But it was existing, but it did not make any sense to him. Because he's not trying to focus, he's not focusing there. It doesn't exist actually in one sense. If the person is focused like that, it won't exist for him. That example is saying.
Just like we watch a movie, we can see what is happening. We are so loving.
Like here also, while coming here flying airplane, everyone was watching TV. All the seats, people were just watching the TV. So many. Here, they have already seen some TVs going on.
Everywhere you should go speed. If you turn left, speed. You turn here. No, not even turn left or right. Even
when same
small angle you turn, there is a team. Small angle you turn, there is a yeah. So the choice is ours. How you want to feed your eyes and your mind. That choice is
very sense of responsibility in Krishna consciousness. Take all your own responsibility. And also for us to learn, from experience and mistakes also. Be cautious. Like first time you get into, you don't know. But one has to be cautious. Okay, what is surrounding and all that, and how one should be also protected. Let's say cautious of my also. Two things. Means you have to be absorbed, at the same time you have to be cautious also. And to know the pitfalls.
One point which I realized that when we travel to such places, if our consciousness is low, somehow if Krishna consciousness is low, the mind will attack the system because everywhere there is surrounding in it, and we will immediately get caught. So that's why at that time when we are generally exposed to such kinds of things, we should be very high in Krishna at that time, especially. Then we not
Actually, before only you have to plan.
yeah, exactly.
What
Otherwise, if you're low, we'll get caught. Then low. So I think we have to be very careful. And it is there like yeah. Die. She's brava.
Govinda Hari Purusha Govinda Hari Purusha